How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and today I've got an updated Ritual Beast deck profile. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because I really like the lore behind it, I really like how a lot of the cards look, and let's be honest, it's pretty cheap. Obviously, this is updated for the current ban list, and it does use the new Link monster, but enough of that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Now, starting off with the Tamers, 3 Elder. 3 Elder is obviously very important because this is the monster that, when it's normal summon, it allows you an additional normal summon of a Ritual Beast. And so it just helps you because, you know, Ritual Beasts, obviously, they need 2 monsters to summon their monsters. This one is very important, and I wish there were other ways to easily search it out and have it for your first turn before you summon any other monsters. And I wish that there were other ways to like get other summons, but you know, I mean, it's fine. Of course, you know, lore and everything aside, this is just one of the good cards in the deck. Then after that, I'm using 2 Wen. Now, Wen has an effect that when she's normal summon, you can target one of your Ritual Beasts that's banished, and then you can go ahead and special summon it. Obviously, Ritual Beasts do have to banish themselves in order to summon the fusion monsters. You can search out a lot of the stuff, and Wen is definitely better for mid-game, or at least, you know, like turn 2, 3, maybe, when you actually have something banished, you know, not when you have things set up. But anyway, after that, I'm playing 2 of the Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. Now, of course, like I said, I love the lore behind this deck, and Winda's my card waifu, but this is a pretty good card because it has an effect that when it's destroyed by your opponent's card, then you can go ahead and special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your deck or from your extra deck. So that's really useful. Of course, you know, if you summon something from the extra deck, you do have to keep in mind that you need to have stuff banished in order to get it out of there. Or, you know, if you want to summon your big thing as a beat stick, that's extremely useful. Now, the thing is, though, it does have to be destroyed by your opponent's card. So obviously your opponent's not necessarily always going to run into this, but it is very useful. And again, because of the fact that its name is Spiritual Beast Tamer. Now, the Ritual Beast fusion monsters require 1 Spiritual Beast and 1 Ritual Beast Tamer. Now, because of her name being Spiritual Beast Tamer, it counts as either one. So obviously, it's great because she's a tamer, but she also kind of counts as a beast. And again, you know, you can use it for the effect to summon something from the deck if you need something extra from the deck. But the reason, obviously, to play this is for its versatility in order to summon basically whatever you want. And there's also, like, you're not always going to get the destruction effect off. But if you can, then, okay, congratulations, that's really great. And after that, 1 Lara and 1 Imps. Now, these effectively do the same thing, is that when they're normal summon, you can go ahead and special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your graveyard. I like Lara a lot better because she's secret rare and she's, like, really cute. I mean, you know, Pilica's alright, but, like, Lara is so much cuter. But anyway, Imps does have, like, additional, you know, it is a pendulum monster, and it does kind of have, like, additional, like, effects and everything because, oh, you know, it's also a Zephyr monster. So some people do tend to play Zephyr cards, additional Zephyr cards, because this is a thing. You can do that, but I'd really just kind of prefer the straight-up Spiritual Beast stuff and Ritual Beast stuff. But anyway, that's all for the Tamers. It's, you know, pretty standard lineup. And now for the Beast, it's pretty standard as well. 3 Conhawk. Now, Conhawk is a great card because you can basically Gold Sarcophagus a Ritual Beast from your deck, and you're not, okay, the thing is, like, yes, it is the same effect as Gold Sarcophagus, so yes, you can add it if it's still banished 2 turns later, but the main thing is you use this to banish stuff, and then you have other cards that can bring your banished monsters back to your field. So it's just extremely useful in that sense. Now, I'm realizing now I didn't mention, but every single Ritual Beast card, including the Tamers, a Spiritual Beast, you can only special summon them once per turn. So that, I mean, you know, it's a built-in balancing effect. So, you know, obviously, Conhawk, you can summon it, use its effect, banish it, bring it back, and since that's the first special summon, that's, you know, the only time you can use it. But yeah, Conahawk's just kind of a basic one, and then after that is 3 Spiritual Beast Rampengu, and Rampengu is a neat little monster. Now, what he does is you can go ahead and banish a Ritual Beast fusion monster from your extra deck, and then go ahead and Foolish Burial a Ritual Beast monster from your deck that has the same type as the monster you banish. So obviously, you know, all of the little Ritual Beast monsters kind of correspond to one of the big fusions in the extra deck. So basically, you send one of these to the graveyard by banishing one of the ones from the extra deck. Now, of course, Kanahawk you don't want to do because you want Kanahawk on the field or banished. I mean, you can there's still a lot of great stuff that can bring your Ritual Beast monsters from the graveyard back to the field. But the fact that you would have to banish an Ulti-Kanahawk from your deck, which is limited, spoilers. But yeah, Rampengu is still really useful. Of course, he's one of the I don't want to say that he's a mini Kanahawk, but he helps get things from your deck into the graveyard and the banished zone, which Kanahawk is a little better at that because it gets something straight from the banish without paying cost of banishing one of your fusion monsters. And you know, most of the times you're gonna be using like Rampengu's effect for a Paleo because you know we play 3 Apeleos. Spoilers for the extra deck yet again. Now Apelio is an interesting one. He can banish Ritual Beast monsters from the graveyard to give every Ritual Beast an attack boost for the turn. So I mean, you know, it kind of goes with like Rampengu because you know Rampengu is going to be sending stuff to the grave. So Apelio can banish those ritual monsters that you sent from the grave, and you know get them in the banish zone where you can special summon them again. So you know it's pretty useful. It's pretty useful for that. And then after that, just one pink dolphin, the Petal Fin. It's got like an effect. Yeah, you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your hand to bounce one of your opponent's cards. And I mean, that's a decent effect in theory because, you know, say you have something in your hand that maybe it's not worth your special summon, then you can go ahead and Petal Fin it and get it in the banish. But like, I never use that effect. It's just fat, and I use it for another name because yet again, all of these monsters mentioned, you can only special summon one of them per turn. So there's that restriction. So that's why you have to play basically all of them, all of the Ritual Beast cards that there are, because they all have different names, and you need all the different names in order to pull off some different plays. But anyway, that's it for the monsters, and that's pretty standard. So yeah, but like I said, you know, they're all pretty cool and cute. And now onto the spells 3 Brain Research Lab. Now, what the heck is this card if you don't know anything about Ritual Beasts? And in fact, you know, not even every Ritual Beast deck really uses this, but this is a field spell that allows you to get additional normal summons for psychic monsters. Now, all of the Ritual Beast tamers are psychics, so all of these guys are psychics, so you get additional normal summons on these. However, all of the beasts are, you know, their respective types for whatever they match up to be. So obviously, if, you know, your first turn you don't get Elder, which is really, really important, these kind of help out. Now, it's not free normal summons, because every time you do perform an extra normal summon of a psychic monster, you place a brain counter on this card, and basically what that does is, yeah, oh, when this card is destroyed, you take 1,000 damage for every brain counter that was on this card. Destruction of field spells isn't something you have to worry about, and I mean, if you you only have to worry about losing this upon activation, or like the turn you need it. If it's like destroyed like a turn later and you take 1,000, 2,000 damage, oh no, boo-hoo, you took damage. By then you've probably already got a good board and some good monsters out there, and you know, who knows, your opponent isn't always going to get to destroy this. But that said, it is something you do have to be mindful of, because, you know, if you don't like taking damage, then, well, you know, this card's all about damage, because that's how old psychics used to be. After that, 3 gold Sarcophagus, because it's at 3 and it's in beautiful common rarity. But obviously what this card does, you know, banish a card from deck. You can add it to your hand, but obviously you're not going to get to add it to your hand because you're pretty much going to special summon it back out, because it's going to be a Ritual Beast monster and you've got all those neat, crazy effects. After that, for 1-ofs, you got Emergency Teleport, Monster Reborn because it's back, Foolish Burial, let me scoot these over, Dimensional Prison, and Ritual Beast Bond. So I'll talk about all of these real briefly individually. Emergency Teleport, obviously summon one of your psychic monsters if you don't get it in the first turn. What's great, you know, you can use this, normal summon it, or a special summon an Elder from deck. Elder is, you know, useful. You won't get its effect because you don't normal summon it. You could, you know, use it on like a Lara, a Zephyr Pelica, or a Wen. Can't use it on Winda because she's level 4, sadly. And sadly, Emergency Teleport is at 1, and I kind of sad, dude, but anyway, it just helps you get extra monsters. Monster Reborn because it's back and it's good and useful. Yeah, you know, stuff is going to be banished, but you can have stuff in the graveyard, and again, if you want to, in case you forgot, Monster Reborn can let you take your opponent's monsters. Foolish Burial, it's kind of like, you know, Rampengu, except you don't have to banish for cost. Dimensional Fissure, Did I say Dimensional Prison at first? I think I did. But Dimensional Fissure, obviously every monster is banished instead. And that's a little more useful because then, you know, if any of your monsters would go to the graveyard, they're banished instead, where you can more easily get them. Also helps in disrupting your opponent, which is pretty good if they're playing something graveyard-based. And then Ritual Beast Bond. This just lets you special summon a Ritual Beast a little easier. Now, the exact effect, let me read it. It says, banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters you control. Special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, ignoring the summoning condition. So this lets you bring out your big guy, but also what it does is, say if you get in a position where you have 2 beasts on board and nothing else, or you can only get like 2 tamers on board and nothing else, this just helps you like swap them out to actually make a play. Of course, you know, like I said, you can use this to bring out your big secret weapon. But anyway, yeah, that's all for the spells. And now for traps, which are the most exciting part. 3 Ritual Beast Steeds. What this card does is you get to destroy monsters on your opponent's side of the field equal to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you control. So it's pretty easy to have at least 2 on the board. So yeah, use this and you can destroy your cards. Obviously, you know, if you get to the point where you have a full board of Ritual Beast monsters, hey, use this. Just say goodbye to your opponent's field. Obviously, you know, you can search this out with a lot of your Ritual Beast support, and it's just some good, useful removal. Now, after that, 3 Ritual Beast Ambush, which again, another great searchable card. And what it does is you get to special summon 2 Ritual Beast monsters, a Tamer and a Beast, from your graveyard or your Banish Zone. So again, you know, this is one of the great ones that gets it from the Banish Zone, but it helps with that, gets it from the graveyard as well as the Banish Zone. But you know, it's just real useful because, yeah, you know, you're just gonna get a lot of stuff out in there. And set, you know, you're like the fusion monsters, right? The fusion monsters can tag out and just special summon stuff from the Banish Zone. But if it ever gets to the point where your fusion monsters just like are stopped or out of commission, and it's like, oh no, I still have stuff stuck in the Banish Zone, well, you got this. Yeah, it's really useful. For addition, alright, this seems like overkill, but 3 Torrential Tribute, because it's at 3 now. Okay, alright, hear me out. We're playing Dimensional Fissure, and spoilers, we're playing Macrocosmos as well. This, just complete board wipe and banish everything. And, you know, I didn't exactly mention this with Ritual Beast Steeds, but you know, Steeds, if it destroys your opponent's stuff and you have Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos on the field, you're just gonna banish their stuff. You know, same with Torrential Tribute. Like, if your opponent's playing something graveyard based, which, you know, is relatively likely, or even if they just have anything that like helps them get something from the graveyard, which most archetypes at the very least have something that lets you summon something from the graveyard, you're just gonna screw them over with this. And what's great about Torrential Tribute is that, yeah, you know, it does destroy your own monsters on your side of the field, but if you have Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos on the field, you're just going to send them to the Banish Zone, and hey, we love the Banish Zone. And even in the graveyard, you can get them out of there. And then just the last 2 cards, Solemn Warning for decent negation. I don't know, you could play a Strike. I don't have strikes, call me Scrub. And then Macrocosmos, because Macrocosmos is beautiful. And that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, the usual stuff. We got a Ritual Beast... And now for the extra deck, usual lineup of the Ritual Beast. 1 Conhawk because it's limited. 2 Big Dolphin because it's big and, you know, you can use it as fodder. 3 Apelio because it's pretty decent and you can go ahead and summon it. These are all for the basic ones. They've all got, you know, decent effects. Conhawk, what Conhawk does is you can shuffle 2 of your banished Ritual Beasts back into the deck to search for a Ritual Beast card. But what all of the Ritual Beast monsters do is they are contact fusion monsters. So obviously you don't need polymerization. Just banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters, a Tamer and a Beast, and then summon them. But they also have a tag out effect, and it's a quick effect, thankfully, not like, you know, Psychic Gladiator Beasts that have to attack. So just at any time, you know, quick effect, you can tag them back out and special summon 2. Now, again, you are going to be special summoning your Ritual Beasts, which have limitations on each of them. But, you know, Conahawk's your basic first turn play, because, you know, Petalfin's just big and defensive, so you can make it if you're, you know, passing turn. But again, like I said, you can go ahead and banish one of these to go ahead and send Petalfin. It's just there. And then Apelio has like an Armades effect when it attacks, so that's pretty useful. And again, like I said, you know, 3 of these, so you can use it as fodder. And then after that, we've got 2 big boys, 2 Ulti guy Apelio, and this card is like just an absolute monster. It's got 3,200 attack, But what it needs is it needs 3 Ritual Beast monsters to summon it. Now, specifically, it's one Ritual Beast Ulti monster, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer, and 1 Spiritual Beast monster. So it basically takes like the same as a regular thing, like a Tamer and a Beast, plus an Ulti, so one of the big guys. So you got to fuse a fusion for this guy, and it's got to be the contact fusion. But you know, if you can pull that off. You can pull that off. But again, we do have the Ritual Beast spawn, which lets you just banish any 2 and summon one of these guys for like just that 1 card. So it is extremely useful. If you do summon it the way that it's supposed to be summoned, during either player's turn, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your, or a Ritual Beast card from your hand, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So, you know, it's some pretty fun negation. And if you can, you know, pull this off with like a summoning how it's quote unquote supposed to be summoned, then, you know, you just get a big beat stick and you can negate stuff by banishing Ritual Beast from your hand. Now, you're not always going to have Ritual Beast in your hand, and I feel like that's kind of the problem here. It can be any Ritual Beast card, so it can be, you know, the traps also. But, you know, you do have to banish a card for cost, so it's like, eh. That's it for the fusion monsters. On to links. I got one of the Ritual Beast Ulti-Kimunfalcos, which is, you know, a nice new card. And, you know, you probably should be playing 2 for whatever reason. I could only find 1 on Amazon, which is my preferred way. But to fill that up, yeah, we got a Decode Talker. But, you know, you could do 1 Decode Talker and 2 Ulti-Kimunfalcos, because, you know, that's decent enough. Now, Ulti-Kimunfalcos, it is a link monster, so it's gonna let you special summon more stuff. So obviously a lot of the fusion monsters, you know, you could kind of get away with having only 1 on the field, but you know, a Kimunfalcos is just gonna access your additional zones to go ahead and summon your big Ritual Beast fusions. And now Kimunfalcos, let me just go ahead and double check the effect. Now, first of all, Kimunfalcos gives an extra 600 attack to any monster it points to, but I do have to point out the fact that apparently, since Ulti regular Paleo, since it has an Armades effect, kind of, that it's not affected by anything when it attacks, it actually loses its attack boost if it's pointed to this. So that, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, hey, if you can bring out the big boy, he gets an extra 600. Now, this dude, what's his name again? Yeah, Kimunfalcos, has the effect that once per turn, you can go ahead and banish a Ritual Beast from your graveyard, and immediately you get an additional normal summon. And so it's just, you know, a great way of getting extra normal summons. Now, the thing is, extra normal summons are very, very useful. But on your first turn, when you're bringing out 2 Ritual Beasts in order to make your Kanahawk and start getting your pluses with Kanahawk. So the fact that you do have to use Ritual Beast in order to summon this, and then you have to banish for cost in order to get your additional normal summon, it can still help, obviously, because it's a link monster, right? So, you know, you have your link monster, and then you still get, if you still have like graveyards and banish zones full of stuff, and you're able to, you know, summon this, you get an additional normal summon. Hey, you can go ahead and, you know, bring out your Elder, Kanahawks. Hey, make another ulti, or start your ulti Kanahawk. Obviously, you know, there are some interesting combos, which I gotta study a little more, and maybe I'll bring them to you in a video at a later time, but this card is just so great. It also does have the effect that it can tag back out. Now, from what I do understand, the fact that it's a link monster and isn't a fusion monster in the way that, you know, your regular monsters are, you send them to the graveyard. You send your monsters to the graveyard in order to summon this rather than banishing them. So it's unlike, you know, your regular fusions, that when you summon them, you're obviously just going to go ahead and banish the materials needed for it, and then right away you're going to be able to have something at least there to bring back out. This, it sends them to the graveyard because that's how link monsters work. Now obviously, if you have these guys out, hey, that kind of solves your problem, which is another reason these cards are real good. So, I mean, there's that. That is just something you do have to keep in mind. And then, I don't know, to fill out the extra deck, whatever. Rank 4s. Who still plays rank 4s? Dweller's Top Effects, I guess. Chidori because wins, and Cowboy for game, I guess. What's his face? There's like Bakuza, the terribly tired Tapir or whatever. and Tornado Dragon. I don't know. I haven't been playing much rank 4 focus stuff, so obviously I don't have those dudes yet. But if you have them, yeah, play them. I don't know. I'm still playing Cowboy because Cowboy for game is fun if you can pull it off. Yeah, but anyway, that's it for the deck profile. Go ahead and let me know what you think with a comment down below. I went a little longer than I originally wanted to because, you know, sometimes I get a little lengthy with my talks about, you know, effects and just random inserts here and there. But, yeah, you know, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, let me know those because I could definitely use a lot of help when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! As a lot of you can probably tell. This is a relatively standard build. I do know that some people play like Wind Witches because Wind Witches help for additional special summoning, and you know they can help with bringing out, like, I don't know, just like a generic link a lot easier to open up your special summon zones and whatnot. I don't know, what do we call those? Link monsters are weird, but anyway, yeah, if you love the deck, yeah, leave a comment too. And if you'd like to see combo videos or a how to play, I'll definitely get working on that. So far for the Monarchs, how to play, I haven't gotten so many suggestions for that, and I don't know if I should do that. But again, just any deck at all you ever see, if you want to see a how to play video, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll probably, hopefully, get started on that. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like, subscribe, enable notifications, because YouTube is killing every channel or whatever, according to Philip Franco. But anyway, this has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day.